Hey, synth enthusiasts. Phoenix on here to talk about a topic that came up. Roland Boutiques in 2021. The prices seem to be going up on the JP08, but why?
Let's talk about some theories. The inspiration for this came up from a Facebook post about the Roland Boutiques, and all sorts of subtopics came up. Two main areas of interest stood out for me. This came at an opportune time as I was about to sell my JP08 and JX03. What stopped me? In this Facebook post, someone introduced me to the hidden Juno Chorus in the JP08. This isn't new news. People have known about this for some time, but it really hasn't caught on with enough velocity, I think, and that's about to change. I read more and found out that the JX03 has the same feature. Why isn't this accessible through some key combo on both the JX03 and JP08? Maybe it was to keep them more true to the original on the surface, or maybe Roland just wanted to sell more System 8s at the time. Regardless, Midi CC 93 unlocks this famous lush chorus and takes the tone to places the original Jupiter 8 did not go. Specifically, values 1, 2, and 3 on Midi CC 93 turn on the famous types of chorus that the Juno 60 and 106 offered, and it sounds amazing on the Jupiter synth sound and on the JX. I didn't have a Midi device ready that could do all of this, so what did I do? The easiest thing possible. I just reprogrammed my Launchpad Pro custom firmware so it could do it in a dedicated way. Then I kept going and going, but let's talk about that later. So now we have a Launchpad Pro that will switch on these beautiful chorus sounds and offer a portable note playing surface through this custom firmware that I wrote. Make sure to update the firmware on the JP08 or JX03 to the latest version to be able to receive Midi CCs. It won't respond to hardly any Midi CCs if you don't get it on one of the later firmwares. If you don't have a Launchpad Pro Mark 1 or 2, then you can maybe wait for my new Midi device I'm going to be building that's going to offer these features and many more. If you're interested in something like this, please leave a comment so I can get a sense of interest level. Here's some sounds from the JP08 using Juno Chorus. Please like this video and subscribe to help me do more deep dive research like this. So this really opens up the sound of this synth. It sounds amazing now, and it sounded very good before. The JX03 also sounds great with the Juno Chorus. It had one chorus built in, but now two more available. This is a nice little feature on the Launchpad, but it's hardly enough to warrant a push of a firmware based on this. To be fair, there are many Midi devices and keyboards that could be programmed to do this for you. So that brings me to the other topic that came up in this discussion, and this one I've heard many times over the years. The Polychain on the Roland Boutiques is plain broken. Let's say I want an 8-voice Jupiter 8 and I buy two of the JP08 Boutiques. They have Polychain feature, but it doesn't work right. The voice stealing thing is bad, and it's not like having an 8-voice polysynth. This is because the note allocation does not round robin and distribute the notes evenly between the two units. It simply starts on the first one and stacks up to the second one as needed. This causes problem when notes drop out in different orders. This is about to change. I've written my latest Launchpad Pro firmware to have the ability to do the correct round-robin distribution of the notes so that you can effortlessly play the full 8 voices the way you'd want. I don't have two JP08s, so I'll demo this with a mix of JP08 and JX03 with somewhat similar tones. The code behind this is advanced, so I don't really blame Roland for not being able to figure this out, even though Roland was one of the first companies to use MIDI back in the 80s, and I just started programming MIDI devices in about 2017. So, moving right along, this feature of polychaining and round robin gracefulness is not only great on boutiques, it can be used on any two synths, even if their tones are totally different. It even sounds cool to make the sounds bounce between two different synths to make a cool performance effect. Experiment and enjoy. Despite this being designed for Roland Boutiques, this feature is useful on any 4-voice polysynth. So the use case is much bigger. It could be with 2 Electron A4s, 2 Microfreaks, 2 monopolys, or even 8-voice synths. It's especially nice with 4-voice polysynths though, because the voice stealing can get bad with that few voices. This powerful polychain magic will also be on my upcoming new MIDI device that will handle this and many more awesome features. Again, leave comments if you are interested and tell me more about what you're looking for. For now, to get this firmware for Launchpad Pro, go to my Patreon account, link in the description, and sign up as a superfan level patron. This is a more premier tier, but it's worth it because I've solved a major problem that many synth players have faced for years. Your support is greatly appreciated, and it helps to fund more development of features like this and new gear development from an independent source. Feel free to be a short-term patron to get this firmware, but those who stay longer may contribute more ideas and get future advances in the firmware, sample packs, preset packs, and more. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel to hear the latest updates on this firmware, my music, and new upcoming music gear. Until next time.